Look at this fucking sexy ass room. Halloween decorations should be up soon. Anyway, um, welcome to a different type of review to kick off the spooky season reviews. Something that I kind of wanted to do more of is actually TV show reviews. Let's try this for a second. Oh my god, yeah, standing. I used to do reviews standing a little bit. Try something different. Um, I'm gonna do a TV show review of Monster, the Ed Gein story, which I did start the year that I started making videos again on this channel. Well, technically that was 2020, but 2022, I did watch the Monster Jeffrey Dahmer show when that came out, and then last year, I watched the Menendez brothers one. Um, but I took longer to watch that one. I got through Monster season one with Jeffrey Dahmer one like in fucking 2 days, 2 or 3 days, I think. Um, thought that one was brilliant, fucking disturbing as shit, but obviously it's gonna be brilliant. The Menendez brothers one, it took me like a bit of a year to watch because it was just a year and a bit to watch. I only finished that a few months ago because, well, not a year to watch, nearly a year. I only finished that 2 months ago, nearly. Um, because there's just a lot. I was watching a lot and all that, and I love that one as well. But it is probably my least favorite of the three. But I enjoyed it overall, and I also thought that was brilliant. Monsters, the Lyle and Eric story, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story. Now, here is the third installment, which was I think announced actually last year, right after the other one came out, or Lyle and Eric came out, or like just before or something. And oh, a fucking spider. Fuck. Anyway, um, and now season four has already been announced. Already been announced. But Monster, the Ed Gein story, is basically the TV show. The center of this TV show, and the plot of it revolves around Ed Gein, who in real life obviously was a notorious serial killer who murdered people, innocent people, and fucking wore their skin. He also dug up graves and robbed graves and shit. He was also a necrophile, meaning he trigger warning, had sex with corpses, dead bodies, um, and all that fucked up. I was like, look at this fucking spider. All that other fucked up shit. Um, but obviously he had a weird relationship with his mother where she was basically abusive, but he also defended her and loved her. Sound familiar? Psycho. And all that stuff that happened. That was, so the show is basically um, Ed Gein's life of when he started kind of killing people, when he started killing people. Um, it's fucking spiders freaking me out. Arachnophobia, okay? Um, yeah, so the start of it is him with his mother, his life with his mother. She's very abusive. She catches him fucking masturbating, all this crazy shit, all this awful stuff. He eventually, he loves her and defends her a lot, but he's also very socially awkward. He tries to flirt with girls, and then often goes, "Oh, I didn't mean anything by it." Sorry, I don't know what. Anyway, or whatever. But he also has a girlfriend, which is like it is the like apparently in real life people weren't actually sure if he had them or not. Um, he sees people in the neighborhood or the fucking village like him, but he is very socially awkward, very weird. But his mother's very like religious and like will make him strip down naked, which is literally something she done in real life as well. And is like, you're a sin, you shouldn't do that, and all this other crazy shit happens. And eventually, it's just very abusive, mean. And he has a brother, he's quite close with. They argue about something. He says something bad about the mother, and he ends up smacking him over the head with a fucking log. And he goes, "I got you real good, didn't I?" And all this, and then he's not getting up, so then he ends up lighting the place on fire, lighting the place on fire, bringing the body, ends up dead. Um, the brother ends up dead. The mother ends up freaking the fuck out and having a stroke, and then he has to take care of her. Eventually, she dies. Goes to the funeral. He also does dig up a um, grave next to her. Um, I'm gonna move over here because this fucking pissing me off. This spider is freaking me the fuck out. So I'm gonna move over here. Yeah. So this, he digs up this grave, um, and essentially, you know, brings this body to the house and kind of pretends it's his mother and all this other stuff. And throughout the whole series, he goes around and he digs up dead bodies. Like when he wants to get his girlfriend a ring, to propose to her, he literally digs up a body and gives her the ring. And on top of that, he does kill people. Obviously, there's an episode where he goes and kills these two innocent people. He chases after them with a chainsaw. Um, and there's an episode where he actually takes a woman and does something to her on the table, and they fucking show it, which is like, oh my fucking god. There's another episode where he's gets with this woman, um, who's like lost her husband, and she gets overly clingy, and they have sex, and eventually he ends up killing her, wanting to divorce her, wanting to fucking break up with her, and he ends up going and they argue and he ends up shooting her, and then fucking another episode, got her son finds her um just completely fucking torn in half in a barn, which is really fucking disturbing. Um, you know, and overall, I'm kind of just going through different parts of it. Overall, I thought the show was great. I thought it was brilliant, but it was so fucked up and disturbing. Now, obviously, it was going to be, and I think obviously it's meant to be because it's capturing a certain part of sorry, a certain part of you know history with Ed Gein. Obviously, he was a fucking serial killer. You know, evil. Although some people are gonna be like, "Oh, well, he didn't know he was doing it," but like, okay, it's still fucked up. Um, and I think it captures that well. I mean, when one of the episodes later on, when they, I think it's five or six, where they go in and they find everything, they're like, "Oh, look here, look here, look here," and they open it up, trigger warning again, and they find vulvas, which is like, ugh, disgusting. I think in like the first episode, there's a moment where you see a nipple on a chair, and she's like, "What the hell is that?" And he brings the girl back, and she's like, "What's going on?" "Why would you say that, Ed?" And she gets all freaked out and runs off. Um, and then she comes back, like, "Oh, you freaked me out," or whatever. It's like, "Can I at least call you tomorrow?" And you think he was going to kill her, but he doesn't. Um, there's also, yeah, well, something else I was going to say, fucking hell. Um, yeah, there's also the episode where he babysits. You know, she tries to help him get a job, and they go for the interview. It's like, oh, he's cute and all, and then he goes and babysits these kids, and it's just so creepy with them. He's just like, oh, you all want to see a magic trick and all this stuff, and it's like, what the fuck? And he starts doing this thing, and eventually, um, these fucking kids are like, oh, you're fucking rude. It was like, whatever, and then he brings them back to their house, and you're like, oh, what the fuck is he gonna do? And he's doing all this kind of routine for him, and then he comes in with a mask. He goes, that's not real. Then he takes the mask off. Oh, she's better be careful. Takes the mask off because the TV's there, and fucking scares the shit out of them. And they run out of the house, and it fucking frightened the fuck out of me. Um, but the show's really good at being scary and creepy, and it definitely falls into the horror category. Um, there's a moment where in later episode he's in a mental hospital, and there's a nurse being nice to him, and then later on there's one not being nice to him, and there's a moment where he literally visualizes fucking killing her with a chainsaw, like, and the fucking gore is insane. Blood is like insane. Really great practical effects, but it's fucked up. But that's to show that he has schizophrenia. Um, there's also moments like where it'll cut back to this woman during World War II who made people into furniture. And like there's a moment where I think it's in episode one or two where he's kind of looking around. I think it's episode two, and he sees a fuck ton of them, um, Jewish prisoners in concentration camps running towards him, and he runs away, and they're kind of running at him, and it's because he has schizophrenia. But there's loads of moments like that. Like, I think it captures that side well. It's suspenseful. It's creepy. Um, and it also makes you question what the fuck. Like, I didn't know a lot about him. I knew obviously he made people into furniture because they say that they show like that, and they show him cutting fucking bodies up, skin up, and making it into furniture. But multiple times throughout the show. But I knew all that because of the films like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Psycho, and Silence of the Lambs that were based off Ed Gein. So I knew that. Um, but I didn't know about schizophrenia. Um, I didn't know a lot of other stuff about him. I didn't know he fucking talked like Winnie the Pooh, which I'm not making fun. I'm not making fun of the fact that he killed people. That's fucking terrible. But he did talk like Winnie the Pooh. Um, first episode, there's a part where he goes into a bar. He has a friendly conversation with the woman. Oh hi, and he goes, "You wouldn't be my mother," and she offends him, and then he goes into the bathroom, gets his shotgun, shoots her. And then they find her the next day. He's like, "Oh, is she dead?" Um, and it's graphic, like it's fucked up. Doesn't shy away from shooting uh, the girl, the woman. It doesn't shy away from the violence. Jesus Christ, that's what I was trying to say. There's really a lot of disturbing scenes in it, like the fucking even the moment where he's having sex with his girlfriend or about to have sex with his girlfriend on the grave. They don't. They have sex later on, but still. Um, there's many moments in the show that are very uncomfortable but brilliantly acted. Like there's a episode where the girl is talking to her mother, and the mother basically tells her, "Oh, I didn't want to have you. You were the worst thing that ever happened to me. I tried to purposely miscarry, so she tried throwing herself down the stairs." You're just like, what the fuck? Um, like it's fucked up. And then before that, she's having a breakdown, saying, "Oh my life, I'm not good enough." And it's like, "Oh, you fucked your life up," and I'd have to agree with you on that. And you're just like, what the fuck? Because there is an episode where the girl is being a bit of a bitch and she's fucking this other guy and then being an asshole to him. Um, but I thought that the relationship between Ed and that girl was interesting because like she does live with him and go, oh, your house is a mess, and she's freaked out at the beginning, but then she kind of encourages him. Like she just sees a dead body and goes, yeah, okay, you know what I mean? Um, and like weird moments where he's like, oh, tastes like feet. It smells like feet. Does it taste like feet? She's like, oh, no. And Tarantino was there, like, oh, no, sorry, not the time, not the place. But she's obsessed with dead bodies. She's like, oh, look at this, and like, like at the first episode, she shows him like fucking Holocaust photos, and he's like, oh, that's fucking, he's very interested in it. There's moments where he's in the mental hospital, and he thinks he's talking to this girl on this device, and then this trans icon that's shown throughout the series, and then you find out that he wasn't actually talking to her. And then there's moments where he'll look up to these people and he'll dress up in women's attire and even wear a bra, and then like he has this kind of like fetish when he's with this girl. She's like, oh, I'll let you wear my bra and my panties when they're out or whatever, when they're out on a date. Um, but like, so finding out more about him, it was very interesting in that regard. I thought, like, you know, those, as I said earlier, those scenes. Sorry if I'm jumping all over the place. Those scenes were very well acted. The one with the mother and the daughter arguing, and just in general, the dramatic acting in this show is phenomenal. I think the episode where the guy finds his mother dead and he's like, "What did you do, Ed?" And he's like, "I didn't do anything," and fucking beats the shit out of him. And then he's so miserable for the rest of the episodes. The guy done a great job. I think the woman's great. Um, the girlfriend, when she goes, she done a fucking excellent job in all the episodes, especially when she's moving and she's like, "Oh, I'm moving away, Ed," and then she goes and she's fucking in a cold place and her tear literally freezes, you know. And then that girl's giving her shit like, "Oh, you can't have it." She's like, "Please," and then she's, "Please, you can't fucking have the room, whatever, it's not my fault." And then she just grabs the fucking thing and smacks her over the fucking head with it and kills her as well. Um, and then Charlie Hunnam as Ed Gein is phenomenal. He captures the voice, the emotional scenes, the creepiness, the physicality. He just completely transforms into this role. Even I even heard that apparently he struggled to come out of character for a while and actually went back to his grave and to like to Ed Gein's grave to say goodbye to the role. Like, look, say goodbye to this role because it's fucked. Um, there's moments where like Ed will get, I think people going, kill her, and it's really disturbing. Even there's even an episode that shows Ted Bundy kidnapping this girl, smacking her over the head, and goes, "I'm gonna kill, fuck, and kill you and you," and it's like, ugh, you know what I mean? Very disturbing. And then they talk to the high heeled killer, trying to catch, try and catch this to try and catch Ted Bundy, and he says some weird shit. There's also that weird scene. It's in the last episode where like Ed is in a wheelchair and all these fucking serial killers. It's like in his head. He's like, "Oh, it's nice to meet you. Oh, I done this, that. Oh, I'd love to burn in hell with you." And the same kind of stuff that happened in Dahmer where they're writing letters. And then you have the moment where they tell Ed that you're dying of cancer or whatever. Um, and then there's the moment where he's like, "Oh, I helped catch that fellow." you know. Um, yeah, it's strange, very fucking strange, but it's brilliantly acted. I think it's very well shot. Like the kind of, I like the small town. The way like the location they chose was great. It's nice atmosphere. I don't know. I try not to be insensitive saying that. But I thought he was great. I thought Laurie Metcalf was phenomenal in all of the scenes that she was in at the beginning, where she's like, "You're a sinner," and then when it has flashbacks to her grabbing him on the nuts, or moments where it's like he's imagining her, and then like the moment where she's really proud of him in his imagination when she's standing at the thing, and that kind of stuff. All of this stuff, um, like when he's wearing the skin, the way he talks, the way he kind of acts when he kills people, when he's dressing up as a woman, his relationship with his mother reminds me of Psycho, Signs of the Lambs, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because obviously that was all the inspiration. And I thought that those scenes were brilliantly acted. I thought Laurie Metcalf, when she finds out her son is dead, her acting in that scene is scarily real. And that's the thing, like, you get so it does its job right. This show, it's so uncomfortable to watch, and it should be, because it's about a real life fucking serial killer that literally wore his victims. And then when he's digging up the fucking graves, and then like the moment where he's like trying to have sex with his girlfriend, like, oh, it's too cold. You're not cold, or no, you're not cold. And then he puts her in an ice bath. I'm like, it's so disgusting and disturbing. And I mean, the Dahmer one was really fucked up. The Menendez brothers one was really fucked up as well. But this one was like, what the fuck? I didn't even think it could get more fucked up. They actually did mention Ed Gein in an episode of Dahmer, but he's played by a different actor and all this. But I thought there was a lot of insight into this show that was great. Um, One thing I did actually love as well, there are moments in the show where it will cut into the future, and they'll actually have scenes where they're making Psycho, where they show them making a Psycho. So there's an actor playing Anthony Perkins. Um, there's like a scene with these two guys, these gay guys. And he's like, "Oh, I'm trying to get into character, I'm trying to get into character for Psycho." Because for those of you who don't know, Anthony Perkins was a closeted gay man, and we see his struggle. First of all, the actor they got to play him looks exactly like him, and he was brilliant in it. And he has an argument with this guy, and he's in therapy, and feels guilty for being gay. And in the few episodes, you have moments with Alfred Hitchcock making Psycho, and then recreating the shower scene, and recreating the fucking um stabbing scene, and then like seeing Anthony talk to Alfred and struggling on set, and then even a moment where Alfred shows Anthony something in the house, and it's like, this is exactly what Ed Gein's house looked like. But how they recaptured the fucking set of Psycho, and then like you have moments where the actor playing Anthony Perkins is just like, oh my god, and he's like visualizing, I didn't do that, I won't do that, and you get to see him actually be Norman Bates in parts. And then there's moments where Alfred Hitchcock is at dinners and talking about, oh, this is what Ed Gein did. And then when he goes to the different premieres of Psycho, and there's people, screens of Psycho, and there's people passing out, and they recreate the shower scene and all that. And another episode, we see someone play Toby Hooper, and he's like, we gotta fucking do this shit, man. We gotta fucking film it. We don't. We gotta do this. We gotta shoot it. Like stuff that's gone on in Vietnam. It's like I have an idea for this film or whatever. And he's like, oh, it's like, how are we gonna make it? Don't worry about gonna make it. We're just gonna make it. I was like, right, let's make Head Cheese, because that was the original title. And he's like, no, I don't like that title. It's like, what are we gonna call it? Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And then there's a moment where you actually see them on the set, and they fucking recreate that scene, the set and the look so well, where they're like there's an actress playing Marilyn Bourne and someone else. They're like, "Oh, what are we gonna do with the smell? I didn't think Toby was gonna use real animals." Like, Toby, what do we do with that? And then they're just there, and then they're filming it, and they're shooting it, and like it's like God, it's like, oh, just deal with it. It's just like, God, what am I paying these actors for? Act, all this kind of stuff. And then there's a moment where like it's before that, it's mirroring the episode before that. Ed Gein is literally trying to fucking hit this woman over the head using a corpse. Where I'm like, oh, this is Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then it cuts to a recreated scene from that original film of him trying to do that, but it's with new actors and it's recreated so well and it has the 70s grain, you know. And then there is moments where it recreates Leatherface's chainsaw dance, and there's moments where like when Ed Gein is running after um those two victims, you actually see him transform into Leatherface. And even the ending, you see Norman Bates, Buffalo Bill, and Leatherface kind of coming at him. There is also the moment where we do see the Buffalo Bill go buy horses scene, and then eventually they stop it and they go, "Silence of the Lambs, take whatever," and they're like, "Yeah, put that back on." Um, so yeah, I loved that it mentioned the inspiration. We got to see a kind of biopic ish thing of getting to see actors play those real life people and getting to see what went on behind the scenes in like a acting way, if that makes sense. Yeah. So overall, I really enjoyed the show. It is very fucking disturbing. I thought that one of the craziest scenes was definitely the one where Toby Hooper was imagining himself in the when he was like going shopping and he fucking chainsawed everybody. But the fucking practical effects in that scene were great. Um, as a show, it's brilliant. I do think they also do hint at the next killer. I think there's a moment where he sees her walking up the stairs with an axe. That could have been his mother. Um, but yeah, Charlie Hunnam done a fucking phenomenal job. The music was eerie as fuck. The look of the show has a similar look that Ryan Murphy had with the other two series, and it works. It's a very David Finchery kind of look, when you're dealing with serial killers and stuff. So yeah, overall, I really didn't have any issues with the show. If I had an issue, it's not really an issue because it does kind of show too much. It doesn't shy away from showing stuff that I'm like, damn, what the fuck. But overall, it was a great show. I enjoyed it. All 8 episodes. Um, it's disturbing. They're all like nearly an hour long, like 53 minutes. Some of them are 40 something. I watched it in 2 days and I enjoyed it as a whole. Um, but yeah, obviously it's fucked up. But Charlie Hunnam will probably be nominated. He should be because he was phenomenal. He was scary. He was terrifying. They in a fucked up way to try and make you feel sorry for him. Now, obviously, I don't, but there are moments where he has mental breakdowns and panics and stuff. Um, yeah. So that is the my review to kick off the Halloween season. That's my review of Monster, the Ed Gein story TV show, and I will see you guys later. Bye.